Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and I'm back with another reaction to Krypton. I am now up to episode 7. I'm slowly but surely starting to catch up here. This episode is called Transformation. Last episode that I watched, we had the reveal that the Black Zero double operative, or not real operative, is actually General Zod, and that he is indeed Lyta's son, or so he claims. And basically he said that he's traveled back through time to stop Brainiac from ever destroying Krypton. It's kind of hard to know who's telling the full truth, but Adam lost a lot of ground last episode because he hadn't been fully honest with Seg. Sadly though, in this situation, Seg is just being the highly emotional and rash person that he is, and of course having the woman that he's in love with right now all siding with Zod. He kind of just decided to push Adam and Adam's theories to the side for now. So very, very vague episode. I'm really not sure what we're going to get in this one, but I'm really looking forward to figuring out what it's all about. So without further ado, let's get into this episode. Boop. She escaped? Keep going, don't stop. Keep going, don't stop.
You have now glimpsed the infinite intelligence and seen the deliverance that I bring.
Wow. This guy is Thanos. Everything cold roads lead back to Thanos, don't they? Someone knowing everything for everyone.
Then you and I share the same goals, the same vision. Let me serve you.
Oh God, this guy just has nothing. Like no real values.
Who is behind this coup attempt?
Put your hand up.
I was, along with Primus Zod. We also had the support of 5 members of the Supreme Council.
You
Did you wish
slimy snake.
They must be publicly executed. All of them. A message must be sent. The people will expect it.
Let it be done.
You hapless worm.
You have one more.
Once a snake, always. Those chairs look like teeth.
Get everyone out of here. Now.
How's the man supposed to make money? You just always be bringing trouble, Seg. Aliens, people from the future. That thing's actually going pretty slowly.
Sorry. Hello, Adam. Is there something I can help you with?
Right.
Jesus H. Christ.
I say that all the time.
Scaring the shit out of me every time you enter the room.
But there is no other way.
Call for help and you die.
Right? I knew she was smarter than that. She knows her father's a spineless worm.
One by one.
I kind of like this look on Lyta. A little more cash.
It's me.
Don't.
Did he make it? Let me see his forehead. Why is he wearing a hat?
Come with me. I might have an idea where she is.
I don't trust that I can't see his forehead. I didn't remember seeing him escape.
You really mean it?
We've known each other since we were children. Of course I love you.
That's not what I meant.
She didn't say in love. And I think you know the answer already.
Till the moment you pulled the trigger, I didn't really think you would do it.
It's okay.
Shut up! You don't get to talk.
Ooh. Pistol whip that bitch.
Not anymore.
Wait.
Just kill him.
I want him dead. Just as much as you do.
Do you?
But he's right. We're gonna need him to get out of here.
You can't trust him. Not even a little.
Trust me.
I don't trust you at all, Seg. Your plans have not worked out, like, ever so far. Okay. You show.
I feared I was the only one to escape.
You were, Primus.
Knew it! Knew it! Knew it! I said that, hiding his forehead the whole damn time. Woo! Damn! Okay. to blow arms off in this show, yo.
I should have had more faith in you.
Yeah, you should have.
Yes, you should have.
Yes. That's right, Lyta. Let her have it.
I chose you.
That's sweet. For her, that's really deep.
And I would do it again.
Aww. Stop it.
Little. Sorry, you are going to pay for his services.
I love that look. Like, this is intense, but I have business.
Mother, we need to find Seg.
He's lying.
Let's go.
Nah, your grandma don't like you. She has sense.
Why are you smiling? Because you're about to get punched in the face.
He knows his baby.
You'll never be more attractive to me than you are in this moment.
Aww.
We need.
Brainiac's going to take the city in a matter of weeks. We must stay and fight.
We
With
will not stand
what?
a chance.
If we are going to die, then it.
I'm just going to stop you there.
I don't know. There's another way.
I love him. Yeah, let me stop you there. I ain't dying for this.
I found the problem. Shitting.
Self-pity. It's right here.
Now, regardless of the reason, you chose to come here. You can still set things right.
Why'd you look at Gramps just dadding everybody?
You're right. I can.
Clearly, Cal takes after his great-great-grandfather. Wouldn't it be hilarious if all this just went to moot because his cape caught on fire? I would die.
I have transcended into something more.
Oh, great. Y'all let him now become, like, cool and shit.
I have come to lift you out of despair and make your city whole.
Good luck. You are never stopping this guy now.
Who wants to live forever?
Yep. Good job. See, none of your plans ever work out, Seg. Ever. Ever. Wow. Okay. Wow, that definitely had a kick of an ending. That was episode 7, which was called Transformation, and well, I guess we just saw that at the end, didn't we? Wow, very interesting. It really picked up in the end. I kind of like that, because the first half of the episode, I was a little bit back and forth. It felt a little bit slow. The stuff with Adam was pretty slow. You know, feeling sorry for himself. I mean, honestly, forgive my crassness, but it reminded me of in Deadpool, that part where, the old lady that Deadpool used to live with was like, I can't hear anything you're saying through that pity dick in your mouth. Like, just stop feeling sorry for yourself, Adam. Yes, you messed up. You lost this round with Zod, but overall, if you need to get something done, if you're determined to do it, you're not going to let one setback, you know, stop you. I think part of that whole thing with him sitting in the fortress is to get his Zeta beam fixed. Obviously, he needs that to get back. I'm glad that he's not just rolling over where Zod's concerned. And the reality is, even though it sounded really harsh what he said at the end about how, you know, he's got to stop, kill Zod and stop Kandor from being rescued, it's true, right? That's the reality, is that he has to allow this to happen. Like, we all know when it comes to the whole time travel thing that you can't change major, like, even the littlest of things they say will cause a massive effect. But imagine changing something as huge as saving Krypton. And it was it's been talked about in all the different comics and different movies that I've seen, where Jor-El talked about all the things that he did to try to save Krypton and realize it just wasn't possible. There is nothing that can be done for that. And besides, Superman would not become Superman unless he has to leave Krypton in his little ship and shows up and gets the yellow sun and becomes Superman, right? So all those things, in order for Superman to survive, Krypton can't survive. Bottom line, there's just no way that those two they can't exist in the same timeline. So Adam's right, that is what has to happen. The killing of Zod, however, I'm not so sure. I feel like that might be a personal vendetta that Adam's dealing with, and I don't know if that's gonna, that again could have repercussions in the future that are not kosher. The reality is, you know, as they say, the way things are today, whatever your world is today is the result of a bunch of events that got us here. And if you change one thing, it could just completely change all kinds of things, right? So even though Zod, yes, is Superman's mortal enemy, yes, he's a jerk, yes, he's got a lot of negatives, his existence, you know, to take away his existence, who knows what that could cause, right? We have no idea what kind of doors that could open. Maybe a big bad that's even worse than Zod could surface. So there was much else to say about Adam's storyline. It really wasn't much outside of him wallowing and talking a little bit about his motivation for coming to Krypton, which is fine, because we haven't really heard a lot of that. I mean, we still don't really know his relationship to Superman. We still don't know if he came on his own. I guess we do know that now, because he said the Justice League will notice me. So clearly they didn't send him. He did this on his own. But yeah, there wasn't very much else as far as development. I think we've already seen that Adam's pretty blasé and kind of all over the place, and he really wasn't much different in this episode outside of the fact that, like I said, he had that self-pity parade going on. But at least now he knows that he's got to do something, and maybe he just has to stop trying to kind of ask. Like, I think this problem with Seg is you can't really ask Seg things. You can't really, you know, leave it to him, because Seg is very impulsive and he doesn't really think things through, which is why his plans keep failing. That's why I think, you know, he's just gonna have to come to Seg and be like, listen, this is what has to happen. We can't do it this way. Here's the plan. Here's why this has to happen, and just do it. Because if he leaves it up to Seg, Seg is gonna be very short-sighted about it. A, because he's young, and B, just because that's his personality. He's not the thoughtful type. So let's talk about Lyta a little bit and Jaina and that whole situation. Loved seeing just a laid-back Lyta. I just didn't even realize how like stuffed up and kind of stiff she looked when she was in her uniform all the time. And that's kudos to the actress for being able to really shift her persona when she was walking around as a member of the Sagittari versus an outlaw trying to stay incognito. Everything about her demeanor was so different when she was running around in her gray rankless type clothes, and, you know, her hair out wild and free and just kind of trying to be part of the people. I really liked, like, the energy of strength stayed the same, but I liked that it was in a different sense. You could tell when she was in the uniform and she was Sagittari, it was all about exuding a presence of control and of power. And then when she was trying to lay low and such, she still definitely had her, you know, her back was still straight, she was still confident, but it was less of a display, is what I kind of picked up from that. It was much more about her really just kind of being herself. Like, if Lyta had her choice, you know, her real ultimate choice with no repercussions or no backlash from her mother, this might have been the girl that Lyta would be. You know, still a badass, still really cool, but maybe not as, you know, concerned with, you know, putting out this air of authority and let's face it, a little bit of superiority that the Sagittari kind of have to do. So cool to see her with that. The whole thing with, I can't remember, I wrote his name down and I completely lost it, but her fiance, as soon as I saw him wearing that hat, like, came down to here, like, that man has got beautiful hair. We have seen every cuticle of it. What am I saying? We have seen every follicle of that hair since the beginning of this show, and suddenly he be wearing a hat? Yeah, no, I was like, no, I did not see him run out when Jaina was running out. I saw one other white dude and he got pulled away by the tentacles. So I'm like, nah, he didn't make it. He is totally under the control. He's part of the Red Shard. We learned a new term. And poor Lyta, of course, had no clue. She had no idea. I mean, Jaina doesn't even know what happened, really, because she ran away before she figured out what had happened. So it was an interesting moment to see, again, her and him have that discussion about their relationship. And I do believe that was him, that was the real him asking her about, like, you told me you love me, is that true? Because I do get the sense, that's a very interesting thing about Brainiac, which I'm going to come back to, is his curiosity. But coming back, he said that, you know, like, I think he really genuinely wanted to know if Lyta was in love with him or not. Because that might have been something that he would have used the same way that Ona's mother kind of you know, that love she had for Ona kind of interfered a little bit with the control Brainiac had over her. And I feel like that could have been something for, wish I could remember his name, when it came to Lyta. But then Lyta was basically like, listen, I'm trying to tell you that I do love you, I do care about you, I always have. Like, you can't not have strong feelings for somebody who's been, you know, a solid, grounded support in your life, you know, for the majority of it. But, you know, what it came down to and what she wouldn't say out loud was basically that she's not in love with him. She never has been in love with him. He fell in love with her, but unfortunately it didn't go both ways. And, you know, we know she's in love with Seg. That's been established since the very first episode. That is the man that had she her choice, that would be her husband, no question. So very interesting conversation, and I love the dynamics of that's the way the real world is that you can love somebody but not want to be with them in a romantic way. But also coming back, I guess the only other thing with Lyta that was kind of big was when Jaina, can I just say for the record, I love that Jaina cannot stand Zod. She's just like, even though her and Zod are actually more alike than not, she does not like him. She's just like, you're my grandkid? Don't like it. Don't like it. I would put you right back in the Genesis chamber. But yeah, she's not having it. But that question she posed to Zod about who your father is, and the reason I think that he is lying about never knowing him is, or maybe it's true, but he looked at Lyta and then he's like, are you sure you want to know? And she was like, and then he came back and looked at Jaina when he says, I never knew him. So I don't know if he's telling the truth, if he's just trying to keep certain things, because we all know that, you know, one little piece of information in the past can affect the future. I don't know if he's doing that because he thinks of the effects it might have. Maybe he doesn't like who his father is or something. Maybe it's something he's been trying to keep a secret. My whole point is I have a sneaking suspicion that, and I said this from like the first or second episode, that it would be super cool if Zod actually was an L as well and just never took on that persona. I just think that'd be really cool, especially considering that they eventually became an arch nemesis, because that happens all the time where two family members get pitted against each other. We've seen it in the Marvelverse 1,000 times. But anyway, I feel like if he's lying, it's because he might know that Seg is his father and he doesn't want that to be known, considering the fact that him and Kal-El are arch enemies. Or maybe he really doesn't know because Seg is his father, and maybe he's figured it out now that he's come to the past and seen the way that his mom, because remember the last episode, there was a moment that he witnessed between Seg and Lyta, and you could see the look on his face was like, I couldn't really read it, but he definitely looked like it was new information. Like, I don't think he realized that they were like that. And so I think he might have put the link together that if he never knew his father, that there's a very good chance that Seg is his father. Something he probably is not ready to accept, considering the fact that he's trying to kill what would be his grandson. No, nephew, right? Yes, his nephew. Loved the little moment. We didn't have a lot of Seg and Lyta moments in this episode. We don't really get them overall, let's be real. But it was really cool to see when Seg, he was about to get shot or captured by the soldiers, and he started laughing, and the soldier's like, why are you laughing? And he's like, because you're about to get punched in the face. He's like, he knows his girl. He knows how badass he is. And I love that this show has it where you don't see Seg doing the whole, I've got it, or I could have handled it, or, got that bravado up. He was very much just like, yes, rescue me, bae. I'm fine with it. I know you're a badass. Which brings me actually to the fact that I really appreciated that conversation there with him and Nyssa, where he's like, oh, where'd you learn to fight? Because clearly, usually I think in their society, the only people who are actually given combat training are Sagittari. The fact that Nyssa's like, you recognize that Nyssa was a badass when she was fighting those guys in her room. And then, we discovered that Nyssa, well, we don't know for certain, but it looks like she's gay. And, that she had a lover who was a Sagittari who taught her how to fight. So, I just like that, Seg was just kind of like, well, that's cool. You really impressed me. And, just, again, I just like that there's that mutual respect. There's no quantifying it with the fact that she's a woman. Just, that was badass. And I thought it was really cool. So the show is full of strong, really well-written females, and I love it. I loved Nyssa's whole interaction with her father in this episode. What a worm. What a spineless piece of junk that man is. Like, how... I swore in this episode, and I feel bad about it, but honestly, like, there's no other word to describe that man. He is a bitch in the truest form. He loves nobody, not even his own child. We've got such a parallel between Jaina, who seemed like she was the rigid type of person who would have sacrificed her daughter for honor, and even she couldn't do it. She's like, you're my only child. I love you. Even though this sucks and my honor means so much to me, I'm not losing you. And then you've got this other piece of crap who, that's his daughter, who stood by his side, who he's raised and nurtured his entire life in a completely different way than Jaina did with Lyta, and yet he was still willing to sacrifice her like that to save his own hide. Like, he's the epitome of all the things wrong with the world. You know what I mean? So I just, I really don't want him to survive this season. I need him not to survive this season. He's such a pig dog. But I'm glad that Nyssa got away from him. I'm glad Nyssa got the drop on him. I knew that she figured, as soon as she heard that her father had put her under lock, she was like, that SOB finally turned on me. And you know, in the back of her head, she was always thinking that. So good on her for not being snowed by her father. I have a good feeling that he is going to definitely get what's coming to him, and it's going to be long and painful. But yeah, I guess finally just the whole stuff with Brainiac and what he plans to do. The interesting thing about Brainiac that I'm liking is that instead of just, you know, showing him as this scary, seemingly all-powerful alien thing, I like that they're showing him to be a little, or I'm calling it a him, maybe he doesn't even have a gender, that there's a curiosity that he keeps displaying that I find really interesting. You know, we saw it with Ona in the last episode, and now we're seeing it with him and with the Vexes. He keeps asking questions, genuine childlike questions, like when he's talking to Ona, like, why do you believe, why do you have faith, why did you do this? And then he saw that with Papa Vex. He's like, why don't you serve these gods? Why are you different than the others? Why did you want to, you know, do this coup? Like, and you can tell he's genuinely interested. And that's kind of, it just puts a very interesting dynamic to Brainiac, because you want to just completely villainize him for what he's doing, but in the same breath, you start to get to the understanding of the adage, which is every villain is the hero of his own story. And for Brainiac, he absolutely believes that he is genuinely saving all these people and doing them better by forcing them into whatever his world is of collection. But he's genuinely curious. He has a genuine curiosity about all these different societies and how they work. And it kind of makes him a bit childlike and makes you realize that I don't think there's like really an actual evil intent to what he's doing. That's, in his mind, he really, really believes he's justified in doing what he's doing, much like Thanos in, I keep bringing it up, but I see so many parallels in different shows lately, but same thing with Thanos, who genuinely believed that he was doing the right thing and having to do some bad things to accomplish it. I do like the way they're dealing with Brainiac now, instead of just making him a weird, creepy, smiling entity in the sky. But I think it was another solid episode. It was a little slow in the beginning, but I really like it picked up at the end. The way Brainiac used the belief knowledge that he learned about how people work with religion and how some people treat belief, the way he used that and turned it to his favor to get all these minions completely believing in him and buying into his fable of what you know, their immortality is going to be. Brilliant. Like, there's no other word for that. That was done with absolute brilliance. So yeah, I don't even know what's gonna happen at this point, but I mean, as Adam said, it has to happen. Like, the reality is Brainiac's gonna have to succeed. It's the only way to ensure that Superman becomes Superman in the future, but it's gonna be really rough to watch our team have to sit there and basically take an L. So thanks so much for watching this episode along with me, guys. I'm almost caught up. I know, as of me recording this show right now, I know that the season finale has already aired, so I'm just gonna try my best to binge on through these. I really appreciate your patience. If you like this video, guys, please click like, and if you wanna see more from this geeky face, please click subscribe. Until next time, see ya!